Okay, Taurus, let's see what we're dealing with. We're going to end this month of February. And the day I'm doing this is the day where Neptune and Saturn conjunct 0 degrees in Aries. It's a big deal day. It's the push and reset button. Okay, let's see what's going on for Taurus this last week of February. For Taurus. Taurus, for you guys, your past is dissolving. The new is taking shape. What you guys are going to be processing and feeling these next few weeks is a major healing for yourself and being okay with the decisions that you are making for yourself and processing them, okay? Now, right off the bat, it's showing me a couple of things. Two major arcanas, which is strength, Leo energy, and death, which is Scorpio energy. They're both falling in cross. You're struggling here to use your strength to let something die off. This is what we're talking about. With the planets in the sky conjuncting, we're only going to see this kind of vibe once in a lifetime. Okay? And it's interesting when we have this big reset, how it affects every sign, how it affects the whole collective. Because Neptune falling into Aries is the first house of self. I am, right? So this is what's happening to the whole collective. Thinking about ourselves. Because when Neptune was in Pisces, we thought about the other person. How they would feel, how they would react, what would happen to them, etc. We felt responsibility towards them. Now we're understanding that we also have a responsibility to ourselves, to be loyal to ourselves. And that's the part of you, Taurus, that's going to be healing. Because I see you struggling a little bit here with the strength card, trying to use your strength to persevere. You're also resisting something and someone. I think perhaps a lot of you might have had a lover and you broke up with them. Your old roots are dissolving right before you and you're still holding onto it with the jaws of death. Death. You're struggling to let something go. If you don't, it will not transition. You are now this like little butterfly stuck in a cocoon that's trying to come out so we can see your beautiful wings. You're not letting this life cycle happen. I do see this lover, you rejecting it. You're like, okay, it went as far as it could go. All right, let's continue. Let's see what's going on. Obviously, we're going to clarify and see what's going on. Universe, angel, spirit guides, what's coming in for Taurus? But today is the first day. And today is going to be the first day of the rest of your lives, which means you have time to adjust to this. And you will be, to the new version of yourselves. What's coming in? The Chariot. 3 cards so far, all major arcanas. You are focused on moving forward with your life, and whatever you've been trying to develop since of last year, Taurus, you are moving forward with that. You are saying to yourselves, I am the conductor of my train. Regardless of the positive and negative forces outside this window, I am moving forward towards that dream that I wish upon. Okay? And a lot of you are upgrading something. A job, a career, a relationship, your house, your wardrobe, yourself, your car, whatever this is. Because the 4s come after the planning. So this is newish. This is not old. All right? And that is Cancer energy, the Chariot. What is the surprise this week for Taurus, please? Three of Wands, 6 of Cups, and the Devil. Capricorn energy there. You are waiting for something or someone to come back from your past. Waiting for someone or something to come in. 6 of Cups, perhaps from the past. That could have been toxic as fuck. The Devil. Let's talk about this devil. The devil doesn't do things to us. We do things to us. We even allow the devil into our lives. We allow the devil to intrude on our thoughts, our patterns of life, the person that we accept in our world. We do that. Yeah, we do that to ourselves. Okay? We get obsessed. We get codependent. We allow insecurities to fester in our mind. We let fear control us and take over. That is the devil's work. All right? This is obsession, codependency, just not being able to let go of something. This is what you're going to struggle with, Taurus. But this is your personal demon. The second you let this demon go is when you start thriving, Taurus. You really do. Because there's something that there's been an ending and a betrayal. Whether you did it or you received it, it doesn't matter. It's happening to you and the other person. So let's continue and see what's going on. Because I think this could have been perhaps for some of you, maybe a one-night stand, maybe an affair, maybe a fling. Ask yourselves why this is happening to you in your lives. Because there's something else that you're missing. And it's fundamental. And again, this is the inner part of you that's going to get healed with these planetary alignments. Now let's see what the advice is here for Taurus, please. Judgment. Judgment, and your advice too on top of it. You guys need to make an enlightened decision. You need to make a judgment call because something is becoming heavy and it's burdening you. You're carrying extra weight you do not need. You do not need it. You're also getting stuck, but your mind is drifting to a wrong point of view. Okay, when we're stuck, it's okay to be stuck at times, right? Because you just can't solve a problem. But if your mind just goes back and forth and it reverts to the old thing, the thing that wasn't working for you in the first place, why are you doing that to yourselves? Why? It's not necessary. Listen, I want all of you Taurus to remember clearly what was going on in your lives from March up until September, October. How were you feeling? What were you thinking? What did you want? Those things that you struggled with to bring into your reality or fruition, or you thought that you couldn't do that or you couldn't go there, this year 2026 will not allow you to not do it. So that was the year of the snake, where it was shedding that topical portion of you to see that, so it could come to the surface and you see what those dreams were for you. Okay, because that's when Pisces was going retrograde. That was a sneak peek of this year. The year of the horse has now arrived, and they're saying, no. Get on, Taurus. We're going forward with all those things you were thinking about in March, April, May, June, July, August, September, over and over and over again. We kept that energy with you for 5 to 6 months because we wanted you to get somewhat comfortable with that notion. And then you didn't. You reverted. And now Spirit's back again and saying, you have arrived to this place where now you need to make that judgment call. All right? Because it's too heavy. Don't give up on life yet, because life's got plans for you, Taurus, and they're beautiful. All right, what is the outcome of the week, please? Yeah, you definitely broke up with a lover. You made that choice, right? And you said, okay, but now I feel lonely. And now I feel left out in the cold. And now I go back to my old life. Why? Do you deserve that? I'm not saying this is bad. I'm not saying go out there, people, and have affairs and be fucked up. I'm saying this person obviously came to you for a reason. Because lovers, there's an interesting thing when it comes to Taurus. I'm sorry that I'm taking my time and explaining the cards to you. In Taurus, we sometimes as readers, we read quickly the energy, we feel the downloads, we interpret, we say, right? But rarely do we ever deep dive into a card. I need to for you guys because I want you to understand, because you're a large audience, and for you guys it might mean something different for all of you, because it could be a business partnership, it could be a love partnership, it could be a friend, whatever. But in most of the cases, it's lover. Lover is not your spouse. They're not your boyfriend or your girlfriend. They're actually not out in public. Here's the thing though. What we don't really get into details is Archangel Michael brought you two together. You were always destined to meet because you are learning something from each other. This person gave you an eye opener. They made you see something that was either missing from your life, that you were stagnating somewhere, that maybe this person was your twin flame or your soulmate, or this person had to come into this lifetime and complete a contract that you did not in the last lifetime. Moreover, you have odds despite those. Can you overcome them? Can you both be champions of your pain and come together? Or is it showing you your shadow side? Are you dark? Are there malevolent parts of you? Are there things about you that you need to clean and cleanse? What is it that you need to do to fix you so you stop having this pattern when you're in healthy relationships? What is it? They bring them to you so you can see. Now, this what I just told you is also for your other person. It's the same. So, now look at you. You feel left out in the cold. You feel out there, alone. Do you need to be there? No, you do not. All right, let's continue. Let's see what's going on here. Universe, angel, spirit, guys, let's use the after tarot. What the heck did I do here? All right. Oh, I like that new love that just popped out in my face. What's going on here for Taurus, please? Strength and death, please. The Page of Wands. Okay. So this thing that you're resisting from, like, one minute you're letting it go, you're letting it die off, and then the other minute you're just kind of not, right? And then you're also resisting another relationship. But here's the thing. I don't know if you have a scratch you're dying to itch here, Taurus, because there you are, curious little cat. You're like, but I wonder, what's up with them? What's going to happen if I do this, if I do that? Here's what I do see coming your way. A passionate new beginning. And you taking that risk by finally cutting those losses. Make no mistake, today's the first day of these energies. And they will get stronger and stronger and louder to you. So much so that your path forward will look very clear. Okay, what is the Chariot, please? By the way, those of you asking me about Posy B. Yes, Posy B has lost a bead off his head. Did I tell you this story already? Posy B lost a bead off his head, but he's still positive. No matter what you lose, you still have something to work with. Stay positive. My daughter threw him. She had a bad day at dance or something. Something happened. She got upset. She threw the bead across the room. Lost the bead. We found the bead. And then we lost the bead again. So then it came down to saying, listen, maybe this bead was always meant to just have one bead, not two. All right, but this bead is still positive because it works with what it's got. No matter what your lot in life, you still stay positive and you work with what you got, right? And then I don't know how that helped her, but it did, because it made her super focused. And then, like, the next competition, she won her little competition. But moral of the story is You work with what you got. You still stay positive, regardless of what you lose. You have other things that you can focus on. And that focus is love. And then that love vibrates. It gets louder and louder and attracts in new love. Okay? So the reason I'm telling you all this stuff is because I see you saying super focused, but you're also waiting for somebody. I don't want you to do that and get stuck. So with that said, don't let this challenge you. That whatever you lose in your life, you still have other forms of abundance you can work with until you keep attracting in that love that is correct and healthy for you. Whether that means for you too, on how you can produce this healthy love within yourself by loving yourself, right? Now let's see what this toxic thing is. The devil. So those of you who heard now the bee story, when I post pictures of Posy Bee, you'll know why he's missing a bead. And why we never really replaced it. It's a reminder every day that no matter what you lose, you still have something to work with. If you don't, find it. Oh, look at that, the sun. Something is definitely making you happy. I think some of you have this little obsession with somebody or something, right? And it's your kind of sweet little satisfaction spot, I want to say. It does make you happy, but however, it feels like you're waiting for somebody from your past to come back. Because I think that you're dealing with one aspect of your lives and you're taking care of it. And then once that gets cleaned up, then you can continue with the second half of your life. Meaning, if you've got somebody from your past that you needed to deal with, that was all your focus. There, and only there. And then when you deal with that, then can you focus on person number two? Right now, you don't have the wherewithal to do both. But I digress. I want to know something else about this toxic thing. I think you leaving it behind, whatever this toxic thing is the thing that sparks the happiness within you, okay? Because you finally say to yourself, fuck it, I'm going to take a leap of faith. I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to leave, right? And I am cutting those losses. And the second you do that, you find this crazy ass empowerment within yourself, Taurus. And then you start looking at yourself and you're like, why do I even give a shit what other people think? I should only care what I think. Right? And then this starts to make you happy. This may not have happened to you yet, but this is a feeling that's going to be sparked within you where you're going to start looking at shit that's very toxic from your past and you're going to say, fuck it, I'm going to leave. I'm going to take a leap of faith and a risk and leave without having anything lined up. I don't care. I'm going to cut my losses and this makes me happy. This makes me happy. And that's all that matters. What is judgment? Clarify judgment. Yes, judgment, the way you will be able to make this heavy-duty decision on someone or something that you've committed to, or in regards to, say wanting a commitment or relationship or marriage or what have you. You need to have this honest conversation here with somebody. Moreover, when Hierophant falls in the advice position, it's saying you have to do something traditionally. Like, what do I mean by traditional? You court somebody, you date somebody to get engaged with somebody. You meet their friends, you meet their family, you're out in public. That's traditional. You go to college, you study, you learn, you get a degree. That's tradition. That's also institution. Institution's also marriage. Okay? And you have this honest conversation here with somebody. Others of you, it's a contract. But it's clarifying this. So it's saying in order for you to make a judgment call, go have this honest conversation here with somebody, but do it by the book. Okay? Maybe perhaps strategize, keep it to yourself, what you're doing. Yeah. Now let me see what's going on with Lovers in reverse and the Five of Pentacles. What is the Lovers in reverse and the Five of Pentacles? Three of Pentacles. This is third party. So I think you just kind of were like, okay, I got to stop with the third party stuff. But why do you feel so lonely or left out there? Oh, you find out some secrets. You find out some things. A lot of things get revealed to you. And then I think when these things get revealed or the secret comes out into the open, you kind of make that decision. But it's painful. I think that's temporary. I'm not going to lie, Taurus. I think that's temporary. Because I see reconciliation back here. I'm telling you, the more we get in deep with Neptune in Aries, Saturn as well, the more and more you will feel empowerment for yourself. All right? It's just only a matter of time. Yes, my friends, you are having a reconciliation which sparks a solid new beginning. I see some watery energy back here. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Let's see what we're going to talk about for love in the extended for Taurus, please. Wow. Reconciliation. Romantic feelings. This is not your ex. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe you respark them out of nowhere after 25 years. Others of you, this is somebody new. I could be wrong, but we'll see in the extended. But I do know you're having a reconciliation because of the romantic feelings. So we'll put that there on the side. Guys, there's a fan, I think it was from the Aries clan, who's been following me for a few years. She made her own oracle deck. And I said, okay, I'll look at it. I'll give it a shot, right? And then when I received it, I saw the messaging. I loved the messaging that this person, her name is Kat. I like the artistry too. Don't get me wrong. The cards, oh my God, they're so sticky. I can't pull a card. So I'm going to try to shuffle it and have a card fall out. If it doesn't, I'm going to pluck it out. But I want you to tell me what you feel about these oracle cards. It's called the Oracle of Odd Magic. And I just felt like these were bang on. And I'm always a sucker for oracle cards. Can you give me Taurus? No? Can you show me Taurus? Taurus? Maybe? Yeah, this is too many. Actually, I have two cards. Everybody's been getting two. So I'm going to stick with the pattern because it looks like two has been working for everybody this week. Space Warriors and Mona Lisa. Let's read Mona Lisa first. Altered reality. And this, let's talk about Neptune. That's what Neptune does, alters reality. Look at this artwork. It's crazy. All right, reality is flexible, bendable, moldable, and entirely influenced by what we choose to believe. Your brain can't always tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined, which is why your thoughts hold power. What if being little delusional is exactly what gets you where you want to go? What if dreams require a suspension of logic in order to get rooted? This card challenges you to question the foundations of what you accepted as truth. Is a yellow marker or is only yellow because somehow you told yourself it was? Maybe you're not lost. Maybe you're awakening to a different lens. Lean into the absurd. Use it to your advantage. A shifted reality is a creative one. Holy shit, guys. That is so true. And that's exactly what I was feeling with your outcome, by the way. Like, you're denying a lover, which, okay, I'm not saying is like a genius thing to do, but what I'm saying is you're shifting as a person. You're changing. This lover came to you for a reason. So lean into that, why they came to you. And let's see why you got Space Warriors. Mission, legacy. Oh, is this about a path? Oh. Okay, Space Warriors. You are a star seed. Oh, wow. A soul who chose to descend into the density of Earth with a mission coded into your being. Space warriors arrive as confirmation. Your presence here is not random. Simply existing in your truth is this form. On this planet is already a form of sacred service. You didn't come to follow the rules. You came to plant new ones. Every time you speak your truth, create from your core, or simply stay when it would be easier to leave. You laid down energetic blueprints for the generations after you. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are fulfilling the exact part of the mission you were meant to. Legacy is not something you chase, it's something you become. How fascinating. I've always felt that for Taurus, though, in general. I always felt like Taurus people are here on the planet for a specific reason. You have missions. I've always felt that way about you guys. Interesting. Let me know your thoughts down below. I think I want to do a reading for that for every sign. And we just have a discussion. I think that would be cool. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody else. I'll see you over at Extended.